We're going to do a bit of a paph update today. So if you haven't seen it already, there's a link down below to a previous video where I introduce you to my Paphiopedilum collection, and I have acquired a couple more since then, but they're not going to be in this video. I'm just going to show you a few of the paphs and what they're doing, because I do have some good news and some bad news to share. And from the beginning I've said that I'm no paph expert. All my Paphiopedilums I acquired in the last year, so I'm very much on a bit of a steep learning curve. And what I want to do is I want to take you on my little paph adventure with me, and I do plan to share my successes and my failures. So hopefully, as a bit of an orchid community, we can learn from each other's mistakes and from, you know, things that are working well, and hopefully we can all benefit. So let me start with the bad news, because I have these three paphs that basically lost all their roots. So you'll notice that they're all green leaf types, and they were unpotted maybe last week, because I noticed they were all pretty loose in their pots, and yeah, they had essentially all lost all their roots, no exaggeration. So I've been repotting all of my Paphiopedilums the same way. I've been putting them in a mix with small pre-made mix of bark, perlite and charcoal. I've been putting in some extra lacquer beads, but I've also been putting in this orchid mix that I had, which, right or wrong, you know, I just wanted to use it up, and it's basically a bit of it has some coconut husk and some peat in it as well, so it's a bit, well, it's quite dense actually, and so I've been using it for my cymbidiums as well. But I'll be honest, it's a pretty shit and cheap mix, and these guys just did not like it. I think their roots suffocated. So this one is Paphiopedilum Memoria Joan Levy, which is a primary hybrid, in the same section as Sanderianum and Philippinense. So you can see it's just a seedling. It was originally loose in the pot anyway. When I repotted it, it just had one root, which wasn't an impressive one by any means. And yeah, it lost that root. So it's looking very sad, and I have a feeling it's not going to make it. I don't think it's just got the will in it to push out new roots. This one is Paphiopedilum spiceranium, and it's two plants. It originally came in two little 50mm containers, potted in sphagnum. Basically, they never progressed. So not only did they all start getting loose in the pot and started looking a little sad and droopy, but they never kept growing their leaves or their growths. They just kind of stalled. So yeah, it's worth keeping an eye on newly repotted orchids to see if they're taking off or not, because it is worth having a little look. And the spiceranium belongs in one of the single flowered groups, the insigne types, which I mentioned in my last video that they are difficult for beginners, and they are, I think, more cool growing. So I think they're considered cool growing Paphiopedilums. And this is Paph robelenii, which I do believe is actually a Philippinense, and robelenii is just a variation of that. Anyway, it is definitely in that section, and it came to me as a fairly well progressed flowering size plant, but these leaves never developed. So I repotted it, and it had lost all its roots as well. What it has done, however, is so that's new. It's pushed out this little thing. So I think the difference is that this is just a bigger, more established plant to begin with. So even though it's got no roots, it's got energy in these big leaves. So I think out of all of them, this one does stand a little bit of a chance. We'll see with the Spiceranium, but I have a bad feeling about this one. So what I've done is actually put in fresh mix. I've coated their roots with this Easy Root rooting gel, which is like a rooting hormone. I don't know if this stuff works, but I thought, what the hell, might as well give it our best shot. So I put it in just a medium to small bark mix, put some extra leca beads in, just put sphagnum around the base so I could keep it moist and give it some humidity. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on them and we'll see how they go. Now we'll look at these guys because they've been repotted the same. What I will say is that all my green-leafed paphs, essentially, I did take out of the pot. The ones that I had, potted similarly. So I repotted this guy, which is Paphiopedilum, which is also a multifloral, and it's also a seedling. But this one hadn't lost any roots, and it's growing a new leaf now. I don't know if that's because I repot it or because it's spring, because they're all doing a bit more at the moment because it's a bit warmer. I do think it's probably more that it was spring because it really did keep all its roots. But yeah, it's growing a new leaf. It's pretty happy. This little one's a green-leafed one, but it's in sphagnum because it was one of the very first ones I got as a freebie in another, maybe back in January almost. And it did absolutely nothing. It did nothing for 6 months. Well, it finished growing this leaf, and then it was winter, and then it didn't do anything, but it's starting to grow a new little leaf, which is nice. And the rest of these guys are mottled-leaf paphs, and they have been potted in the same way as these were originally, and I haven't touched them, I haven't repotted them because they're doing really, really well. Especially the Maudiaes types. These guys were doing well through winter as well. They were still growing their leaves, but now that it's summer and a bit warmer, they've doubled their speed. They are all growing new leaves in there. This little one, these leaves have grown very fast. This one back here as well, Sucaculii, new leaf. Yeah, and then there's the Paphiopedilums, which are also doing just fine. They're not as speedy, but they're still pretty vigorous, pretty fast. So there's that one, which is Paphiopedilum crossed with Vietnamense, which I think is actually called Paphiopedilum, I think. But it's growing a new leaf. Delanatii is doing well. This is a Brachypedilum type. It's a seedling. And it's been growing this leaf. It's actually pretty slow, and I don't know if that's because of the type, like the Brachypedilum type, I don't know. But yeah, it is growing. It's still slow. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think these guys don't mind the terrestrial mix. I don't think their roots mind just staying a little bit in a denser mix. They'll probably be just fine in a more airy mix as well, I don't know, but they seem to really enjoy what they're in at the moment, which is a slightly denser terrestrial mix, I guess, and I keep them very moist. So there is a definite difference they are not the same. These green leaf types are not the same as the mottled leaf types, and it's becoming very evident to me that they shouldn't be treated the same culture-wise. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated and see how these guys in particular progress. Just wanted to quickly show you also that Paphiopedilum is just bringing out this cute little baby growth as well. Okay guys, lastly I just wanted to share these two, which is Paphiopedilum Gloria Norval and Paphiopedilum. So, I don't have favourites, but there are some orchids that I just really root for because the flowers are just going to be so amazing. And I paid a good amount of money for these guys. So this year I bought 3 Paphiopedilums from a dedicated paph grower. They are well established. They were grown as seedlings and they haven't flowered yet, but you know, they're established flowering size plants. So I haven't repotted them. The potting mix that they came in was not decomposing. It was still in good condition. You know, he obviously takes a lot of care in the stuff he puts in it. So there's actually leaf litter and some seashells and stuff like that in there. So yeah, I didn't repot them. What I did do is I did fill in a little bit with some leca in my own mix and some sphagnum because some of the roots were exposed and I wanted to cover them up. And that's probably more because some fell out during transport, but yeah, so I've kept these guys in the pots. It might seem like they're a bit overpotted, but they seem to be doing pretty well. The pots they're in are a bit funny. They've just got this little hole at the bottom. But yeah, I'm not going to fiddle too much with these guys because I really want to put their success over my need to repot. But this is Paph Gloria Norval. I showed her to you last time and she was just beginning to push out this little growth, but it's developing quite nicely. And it was pushing out a couple of new leaves when I showed her to you last time, like just beginning to push them out. So this has developed quite nicely in the last few weeks. And so has this leaf, but I just wanted to show you guys this because there's something popping out from the middle of there, so I'm not sure if that's a new leaf. Time will tell, but that's pretty exciting because there is potential for that to be a flower spike. And next we've got Paphiopedilum philippinense, which is doing brilliantly. He's got these 2 new growths pushing out. What a little champion. Love it. But more than anything, I have to show you guys the best news ever, because look at that. I really saved the best for last. It's a fuzzy little flower spike that's coming out. I am so happy about this. So this guy has been getting really bright light, even direct sunlight up until about 10 or 11 a.m. at the moment. And then it just gets bright shade and it's not burning. It is tolerating that really nicely. It's got some pock marks there, but I'm not sure what that's from. It was there when I got it. But yeah, he seems really happy. And if you haven't seen them already, I will put a picture up, but Paphiopedilum has these amazing looking flowers with ridiculously long petals, and basically it's a multi-floral that opens simultaneously, so you'll actually get a nice big display with quite a few flowers. So that is definitely something to look forward to. I think it'll still be quite a little while away before that flower spike actually develops into something that will bloom. So thank you everyone for joining me on my little Paphiopedilum update. There's obviously some fairly exciting stuff going on. Well, you know, exciting. But yeah, I wanted to share really, you know, even the failures that I've had so far, because I think it's important that we all learn from each other. So yeah, I may not completely know what I'm doing, but I think it's fun to take everyone along on the ride anyway. So guys, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos, and turn on your notifications so you are notified when I release new videos. So I hope you guys have a great week. Happy growing until I see you next time. Bye.